Well, I think this is live. Um, the first time I've ever actually streamed to YouTube. So, yeah, we've been trying to set this up so we can get some gameplay stuff streamed and some bits here and there uh, on the streaming side of things. I don't, like I say, we are by no means like professionals at this. We are learning, and you are going to be learning this with us if you are inclined to do so. Just setting up my second monitor here. So, firstly, thanks. If you're popping in, if you come in and you say hello, well, I know from my personal perspective, all of us at Clash and Teacups are massively thankful for the support we've had so far, and hopefully it's only going to get better. We want this to be quite a big thing, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a thing where I'm going to just have a look at Papa Pond's deck he built and put online for everyone to see. I haven't looked at it yet, but I played his version 1.1 or whatever it was, I think he said. So I want to see what he's changed, basically. So I'm just trying to log into the thing now. I just couldn't remember my password. So, excuse me, I'm just going to pick my nose like an absolute heathen on the chat. So, yeah, if you're in the chat and you want me to have a look at something, I can. But what I am going to do is I'm going to switch to this. Nice little scene transition there. I hope you like it. And here we go. Papa Pon. You may know him as Dan. You've seen him on the channel. We're going to have a look through his deck. And we're going to be nosy. Can we... Oh no, we don't want to do it in text. Right, okay. So, Contender. Contender is obviously going to be Genesis. So, like I said, I've played against the Genesis once. I actually managed to beat him somehow with my Pestilence deck. So, at 30 health, once per turn, you may play one ready card from your resource zone as if it were in your hand. If you do, put a card from your hand into your resource zone. The card you play can't be engaged to pay its own costs. Whenever a Genesis Clash card is played from your resource zone, you may activate the portal. Okay, so that's where, again, I'm not a Genesis player, but I believe that's how you get this whole like double set deck, double hand thing that he has going on. So essentially, you're switching it from your resource zone up into your hand. Put a card from your hand into your resource zone. I think. Wait. Whenever a Genesis card is played, once per turn, you may play one ready card from your resource zone as if it was your hand. Yes. If you do, put a card from your hand so you can swap it. So if you've got your hand, you've got your resources on your resource bench, you've got your hand, etc. You can switch them, so you can swap in a resource for something that you've got there. So that means, think of it in terms of if you've got your high level card that you want to play with later, put it in your resource zone early. You can then switch it out later, and it doesn't really cost you anything. And if you do it with a Genesis Clash card from your resource zone, you can activate the portal. So, and at 15, non-Clash buff cards you play from your resource zone cost 2 blue stars, blue resources less. So overall, pretty damn strong, I think, personally. So, Here's his main deck. Let's try and not reveal everything. We've got a lot of clash cards in here. I've got some familiar ones to me. And some unfamiliar ones I don't see that often. So let's start with the Alpharasta Intergalactic Titan. Okay. Trigger Portal. When the portal is activated, if the portal is open, draw a card. This effect triggers once per turn. Trigger Defeat. Ready 2 resources you control. Not bad for a 3 cost, if you ask me. 3 cost 2/3. Card art's lovely. I mean, I'm not a big gameplay person here, so I look more at what the cards look like and go, that's cool, so I'm going to put it in that. But yeah, if the portal's open, sorry, right, so trigger portal. So if someone triggers the portal, you can then draw a card. But if they trigger the portal and it closes, I'm guessing you can't. Correct me if I'm wrong here. And then on defeat, ready 2 resources you control. That's quite standard, obvious, and pretty good. Right, who we got next? Apex the Vortex Slinger. 6 cost blue. 6/4, pretty damn strong. Counter attack. After an opponent declares an attack, you will engage that card. This card, if you do, negate that attack. So I would think that would mean that the attack is just made irrelevant. I don't think it doesn't block your attack. It doesn't then hit you with the 6 damage or anything like that. You just don't take that damage. And obviously it's got flight, so card can only be obstructed by clash cards with flight or interception. Now, I know Dan loves his flight, and I have a feeling there will probably be 1 or 2 more cards in this deck with flight. So, moving on to a flare card. Once per turn during your primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, deal 1 damage to target clash card or contender. Standard, little bit of damage. Yeah, 1 cost, 1/1. Nice. An extra 1 damage each turn as well. So you've got 4 of them out. That could be pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. Did I click on that? I don't know if I did. Let's click on it again. Flare Infernal Arrival. Again, another flight card. Dan, you're a flight maniac. 3 cost, red, 2/2. So, trigger enter. Deal 2 damage to target clash card. If a clash card is defeated by this effect, you may send 1 Nova token you control to Oblivion. If you do, deal 2 damage to the contender. Okay, so if you're getting Nova tokens out, don't think they come up very often in his game. I'm not positive, I may be wrong. But if you do, you can be 2 damage card, a 2 health card, knocked out, damage to contender. Yeah, I can see how that would be a pretty decent card to have. A 1 flare. Oh, it's just 5 cost, 5/5 with flight. Shockingly, Dan's got a flight card. That's 3 different flight cards in there so far. So, where we go then? Genesis the Inevitable. Undisputed, Unrivaled, 5 cost blue, 6/5. Trigger defeat, put this card into your resource zone, engage. The card has the ability, each ability among all clash cards in play. Abilities are flight, breakthrough. Right, so that's pretty beasty. As you can imagine, if you've got flight, breakthrough, exclusive, all of that sort of jazz. So my only query with that is, if Undisputed, I can't remember what that means off the top of my head, I'll have to look it up. But that's interesting. Interesting. That could be a pretty nasty card. But yes, I'm not, like I say, I'm not massive on the like ins and outs of card deck building, but I am actually a judge, believe it or not. I passed the test at least. So Genesis the Oppressor, Clash. I'm going to start burning through these because this is not going to be a long stream. This is literally just a test and see how it goes, really. Trigger enter if you play this card from your resource zone. Ready 2 resources. Counter attack. You may engage any number of blue resources you control. Prevent the next X damage that will be dealt to the target attacking Clash card. This Clash where X is equal to the number of resources engaged this way. Okay, right. So you engage 3 blue resources. You prevent 3 Clash damage. This Clash. Counterplay, you may engage any number of resources you control. X non-clash damage that will be dealt to the target contender or clash card you control equal. Okay, so same again, but non-clash damage. So you've got a counterplay and a counter attack on that does pretty much the same thing for a 6 cost again. I mean, usually you'd be looking at quite a late game, but with the way Genesis works, it doesn't have to wait till late game. Haven, Bountiful Collector. Okay. Can only play 1 a turn. Put a card from your hand into your resource and engage. Trigger defeat. Return target non-trap accessory from your Oblivion to your hand. Recover your traps. Not bad. Lyn. So I know he was super pumped about getting the Lyn Nanite Assassins the other day. If you watched our video, that was, I think, Dan's main chunk, that and the Pestilence card. So I've never really read this. I should do. I've got one. I don't use Lyn. It lives in my binder because I've got like this card, the IR version. It's beautiful. Look at it. Trigger enter. Target opponent diminishes 1 card. Then you may put a bounty counter on a target clash card you don't control. Okay, so they put the top card of their deck into Oblivion. Oh, right. Well, that just probably just be annoying. At the end of your turn, if 1 or more clash cards with bounty counters were defeated, you may put target clash card with initial resource cost of 2 or less from any Oblivion into your clash zone. From any Oblivion. Does that mean you can take stuff out of your opponents? End of your turn, if 1 or more clash cards with bounty counters were defeated this turn, you may put a target clash card with an initial resource of 2 or less any Oblivion. So that suggests to me that you could take stuff out of your opponent's Oblivion, which I suppose situationally would be pretty damn good. He's on to my boy. I love Pestilence. I think his artwork is amazing. This isn't particularly a card that I use often. I have got 2 now, I think, actually, in my Pestilence deck. +1 attack for each card in your hand. You're a 4-cost green with 0/4. So it's got trigger attack. If you have 3 or fewer cards in your hand, you can draw a card. A bit of card draw makes the world go round. At the end of your turn, if you have 7 or more cards in your hand, ready another target clash card you control. Now, in the games I've played, I don't personally see you very often having 7 or more cards in your hand. I mean, there probably is ways to get to do it, but it's not something I've seen come up very often. Mayhem Maker, one of my favourite cards, this, for the artwork and the ability. Target contender with clash card gets -1/1. Brilliant early game, and you get to draw a card. So what's not to like? It looks awesome. It's a good little ability, so why not use it? And then you've got its big brother, the Infectious. So trigger enter -2/2. But if the portal's closed, you do, however, discard a card. You have to be a bit more. What's the word? Probably a bit more careful about how and when you use it. I mean, it might only be a 1 cost, but you could knack yourself if you play this too much, too early, I should say. And like I say, with the -2/2, it gets rid of quite a lot of early game clash cards. So War. I don't know if you had War in here. Strifebringer. I think you did actually. Got Breakthrough. which, if you don't know, essentially carries damage over. So if you take, for instance, War Strifebringer does 3, you do 2 or 1 damage to a clash card, 2 will go onto the contender. The content breakthrough is quite strong in, I personally think. Strifebringer is a 4-cost red 3/3. Trigger enter, activate the portal, then create 2 1/1 red Harbinger symbol, war minion, clash tokens. Trigger attack. If the portal is open, you may engage any number of clash card tokens you control. If you do, until the end of turn, this card gets breakthrough and 1+1 damage for each clash token you've engaged with effect. Oh, so it doesn't start with breakthrough. Okay. I always thought he started with breakthrough, but it's only if you engage the clash tokens. Okay, that makes it a bit less powerful then. But depending on if you're playing Portal, well, I suppose you do play the Portal because you will activate it if it's not open, and you will probably then straight away, well, yeah, because you'll enter, you'll activate the portal, you'll open it, you'll create 2 tokens, and then when you attack, the portal's open. And if you've closed it for some reason, you shot yourself in the foot. But there you go. Hey, how you doing? Con UK 21. I'm good, thank you. How are you? We're just doing a little bit of a test stream here. How is the audio? You could tell me, that would be brilliant. Apex the fastest, that's in there for resources. Green, blue, resource. 2 cost, 3 and 1. Yeah, it's there for the resources. I would guess, like these next 2 cards, yes. Adaptable, it's a red-blue resource. It's a 5-cost red-blue resource, so all sounds good this end. Brilliant. That is very good to hear. Thank you very much for telling me. Yes, so a blue and a red to play it, but if you put it in your resource zone, that doesn't matter. So there you go. We've got another Magnate resource card, the green-red one, so that covers him for his 3 colours. I can't imagine he would use them for anything else other than the resources, unless he absolutely had to. But action, okay. I don't want to give away everything. Sadistic strategy. Now this is a card I was looking at yesterday, maybe the day before. I can't remember whatever day it was. I love that the artwork again is awesome. You can only play this card if you're contender with blue. Put target attacking or obstructing lash card into its owner's resource zone engaged. So that could be good, but again, it could be a shoot yourself in the foot. Because if your opponent, if you don't think about, that's a clash buff. More to be used for resource or rarely played out. Sorry, pretty new. No, don't you worry about it. So let me just try and get this to sound reasonably coherent. So these guys, as I was saying, the green, blue, green, red, blue, red, green. In this particular deck, he's playing 3 different colours. So if he didn't have them, he would need more in his resource zone that could to bring out certain cards. So by having them, it gives him 1 blue, 1 green resource in 1 card. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard balance, to be perfectly honest with you. So I presume you're aware that this game, unlike a lot of others, doesn't have a specific resource card. You use everything as your resource. So any of the cards on this list can be your resource, except your contender. So because of that, it's finding that balance of ones that can become a resource and then but also be used if you don't need them as a resource. So I'm trying to think of the way to explain this, because Genesis is a weird thing, because you can use your resources from you can use your resources to play, whereas a lot of other contenders don't. So it can be used for either colour. Yeah, it looked like DBZ. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I can't ever say I've played the DBZ one. It's one thing that I would like to have, but I've never played it. So, but yeah, it's essentially they're your colour combos. So a lot. I mean, I personally play one colour decks, so I don't really need to worry about it. All my resources are green usually, but because he's got the 3, he needs that extra buff. But you can only have one of these double colours. So, for instance, you couldn't have 2 of these on the resource bench. You could have all 3 of those on the resource bench because they're 3 different cards, but not 3 of each one. I hope I've explained that well enough, because I personally feel like it was a horrendous explanation. But it's quite a hard thing to describe. Essentially, you've got to weigh up what you want late game. So if you're not playing this particular deck, if you want a card late game, so say one of your big hitters, I don't know, for instance, Pestilence here would be quite a big hitter in a standard green deck. So if you put him in, you run the risk of not having that later on. If you don't put him in, are you going to have enough resources to do what you want that turn? Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah. The sadistic strategy, as I was saying, you can put it into your owner's resource zone. So if you misplay that and you put something in, like, so for instance, if I've just, let's say I'm playing him against my Pestilence, I don't want to spend my 4 costs because I want to save them for later. Oh, okay, I don't put a resource in this turn. So Dan misplays, plays sadistic strategy on his next turn, and he puts whatever card it is I've played into my resource. Boom, I've got 4 resources now. Next turn I can play it without having to worry about putting a resource down. So I think it's one of them you've got to be a bit careful of. I'm probably going to get shouted at because I've not told anybody. Oh, no, they haven't even noticed. Team Clash and Teacups is asleep, apparently. Here comes the boom. This is 5 damage to all Clash cards for a 4-cost red. Board wipe. Not much more you need to say other than it's a board wipe. I Am Creation. Now, this is one I don't know. You can control a... Oh, excuse me. DBZ has your... Oh, that's no problem, Con. I hope you get some games in. DBZ has your main character, no resource in the deck. Any card can be played on the back line once per turn, and it can be used for resource. It sounds pretty one-like one. Alright, okay. Yeah, so from what I understand, Alpha Clash has taken good bits of a lot of different card games, amalgamated them, and made an awesome card game. I mean, that's just my particular opinion, and they are my own. But yeah, Con, if you are, I'm assuming you're in the UK, as your name is Con UK, hit us up. Come and try and get to Retford. We've got the first official organised play event happening soon. Next month. What month are we in? May? Yeah, next month. Jesus. And you'd be more than welcome. We're going to be very beginner friendly, even though it is an organised play. So by all means, come and hit us up. Lovely to have you there. So, right, I Am Creation. If you control a Genesis contender, this card costs 1 blue left to play. Put a card from the top of your deck into your resource zone, engage. If the portal is open, put 3 cards from your resource zone on the bottom of your deck. Then put that many cards from the top of your deck into the... Alright, okay, so again, with the double hander thing, with Genesis, you can basically swap your second bench, essentially, with that. So that's pretty damn good, if you ask me. And for a 3 cost, which is basically going to be a 2 cost, because you wouldn't play it. Well, I suppose you could play it if you weren't playing Genesis, but yeah, that's pretty good. because it works perfectly with the Genesis idea. And lastly, in the actions, we've got Shocking Revelation. 1 blue less for each card in the target opponent's hand greater than 5. Again, big hands like that, I don't see very often. Again, it might just be me, but... Aha! Aha! Spoke to the guy, it goes down on Wednesdays, so that could either be Liam, Dan, myself. Ooh, booster box of Unrivaled. It's a damn good set. Yeah, if you're about on Wednesdays, I know I'll be there tomorrow. I believe Dan will be there tomorrow, and Liam, I am almost positive, will be there tomorrow. I imagine you're thinking of Liam. I would imagine. So yeah, come down and we'll have a game by all means. What kind of deck are you playing? Who's your contender? That's what I should ask. Card costs 1 less for each card in target opponent's hand greater than 5. Look at your opponent's hand. You may choose 1 card from the hand and place it to the bottom of their deck. And each opponent sends clash cards they control to oblivion until they control clash cards equal to the amount of clash cards you control. Portal is open. You may draw 1 card or put a card from your hand. Wow, okay, there's a lot there. Yes, that would be Liam. Depending on what Wednesday you went, you might have had a beard, glasses. I would imagine it'd be Liam. He's the one that's been playing longest. So, each opponent sends a clash card they control to oblivion until they control clash cards equal to the amount of clash cards you control. Wow. Right, so if he's got 1 clash card out and you've got 6, that's hideous. I don't like that. Hey, just 1 pack. You did. Nice to see you. How you doing? We're just doing a bit of a tester stream here. I'm just having a look at Papa Pons or Dan's Genesis deck. So I'm showing the whole world what he's going to probably be playing at the Awakening. So if you want to play in the Awakening, there's a little bit of a sneaky peek for you. Thank you very much, just 1 pack. That is very kind of you. Yeah, it's one of them. We didn't realise you couldn't stream to YouTube without 50 subscribers. So when we went to do it the first time, we were all left a bit like, oh, okay. So then we saw, oh, right, well, we'll stream it to Instagram. Apparently you can't do it on Instagram without a certain amount of followers. But I haven't built a proper deck yet, but I like the Krung, Leader of the Horde. Oh yeah, Krung's nice. It's a very interesting way of playing, because you're playing traps. In fact, did I play you? Con UK. Have you been down? Oh, maybe it's not then. You haven't built? No, because the other lad had already built his own deck. Sorry, I'm trying. There's that many new people coming in, and like I'm trying to remember people's names and stuff. But yeah, Krung is a nice deck. It's different. You got a lot more sneaky beaky stuff, I think is the best way to describe it. But I think if you play it right, it'll work really well and it'll play nicely. Not you, but yeah, that's fine. There you go, see, just 1 pack saying it himself, Ambush Krung, all over it. If you do come down, Con, Liam has got a Krung deck, so he will probably be able to give you some good tips. But yeah, it's an interesting way of playing it, I think. It's not something that appeals to me, but I can see how it will appeal to some people. So Dan's Clash Ground is playing Amazon Rainforest. Pretty nice, standard 1 cost Clash Ground. On entry, you get to draw an extra card, and then on the draw step of each expansion phase, you can, if you want to, draw another card. However, if you do that, you must discard a card. So, again, personally, I can't remember a time I've actually drawn a second card with that, but the time may come. Who knows? And finally, target list. So, an exclusive 1-cost blue. Trigger entry, 1 bounty counter on a target clash card you don't control. Okay, so that'll throw back in with the Nanite Assassin, because he'll be putting bounty counters on. Whenever a clash card you don't control, the bounty counter is defeated. Choose 1, draw a card, ready 1 card in your resource zone. Okay, right, or they diminish. So again, a bit more card draw. Nice. Yeah. Card draw. Everyone likes a bit of card draw. And that is Dan's deck. And to be honest, I hadn't really planned on going any further than this. But we've got some people watching, so let's just do another deck. Let's do another deck. Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of Genesis, Talks, Red Black, Red Black Clash Grounds Moxie, Haven Mill, Flare, Supcuz, Mean Streak Aggro. Oh, here we go. Look, should we do a Lord Krung for you, Con? Let's have a look at this one, shall we? So this one is by a chap named Evan Valeska. So let's see what he's doing. So again, this is pretty new to me, so we will try and go through this fairly quick because we'll see what happens. Can't decide if I should build a Lin or a Genesis deck. I think so. We had this discussion the other day, and we think our opinions are Lin is slept on. So I think Dan's talking about maybe doing one, but I know he's trying to perfect his Genesis. Lin interests me as well. I do admit I'm in the process of building Major Dean. I've got my Pestilence. I've got what's the other two I've got? Kilimanjaro and Shadowlight. Shadowlight's the other one. But I do like my Pestilence deck. I love it. Now I've learned how to play it properly. I really like how it works. So, Lord Krung. Whenever a discarded symbol clash card you control enters play from anywhere other than your hand, you may draw 1 card. Well, knowing what I do know of Krung, that's straight away good. Once per turn during your primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, target discarded clash card you control gets Torment. So until the end of the turn. So that card can only be obstructed by 2 or more clash cards. Again, pretty damn strong. He's only a 20 health contender, but he's also defensive, and he's got some pretty nice abilities straight off. So I would imagine he's probably gone. Oh, he's got some interesting things in here. Not what I would expect. He's got. Oh, so he's got a mix of black white. Okay, that's interesting. Fair enough. Right, so we'll start off with his first one. Lord Krung, Ruthless Warlord, gets Necrotic. If you're not aware of what Necrotic does, if it does damage, it doesn't matter if you don't kill them, it will finish them. So even though he's only got 2 attack, he will finish a 3 defense with the Necrotic. Other discarded symbol clash cards you control get +1/1. Yeah, I can see why that's a definitive straight up include, without doubt. The only problem you got with that is it's a rare, or an IR in this case, because that means it's just going to be a nightmare to find it. Do you know what? If I didn't have such a fetish for Pestilence Con, I would agree with you, because that is some pretty badass artwork. However, my boy is Pestilence, and he has been since the first time I saw. Hang on. The first time I saw this, I don't know how well you can see it because the green screen is going to go a bit mad. But yeah, I got given that after I played my first game. It's a bookmark. It's not going to work. But essentially it's a bookmark with the Pestilence artwork. And I was like, that guy is cool. He's my boy. But yes, that is very nice. This is the... Yeah, that's the legendary one, isn't it? Oh, there's some big cards in this. There is some big cards in this. So, blue black, 4/3, 4 cost, counterplay attack. You may pay 3 black, sorry. If you do, put this card into play from your accessory zone. Okay. Trigger, enter, send target clash card to Oblivion. The clash card at an initial resource cost of 4 or more. You may put a discarded clash card with an initial resource cost of 2 or less from your Oblivion. Clash card you control with ambush may be activated. Wow, okay. This card is sent to Oblivion from the accessory zone. Shuffle this card. Yeah, that's pretty damn strong. Unrivaled. So you put him in as a trap. He can send all your other trap cards in, so you can like essentially flood the board in with one card. Yeah, that's pretty. I think everybody looks at Pestilence and goes, "Oh, that guy's cool." I have to admit, Death is very appealing as well. Some of the Death artwork is really nice. To be honest, all the artwork in this game is really nice. All the artwork in the comic is really nice. The box art, it's all awesome, and it's one of the main things that drew me into this, because I like the artwork on these sorts of things. It was initially a collection thing that I really liked them, and then I played a couple of games, and I'm just hooked now. So we've got Lord Krung the Warmonger. This card costs a black less if you control a Bardaga Clash Ground. You get Breakthrough. You get Trigger Enter. Other discarded Clash cards get +2 attack. Wow. And if the portal is open, non-Bardaga Clash cards blue. Jeez. Again, another really strong card. I have a copy of Kids Being Kids sat on my shelf above me. However, I've not read it yet. I've had a flick through and the artwork is stunning. But the reason I haven't read it yet is because I have not finished the novel yet. And I read the first couple of pages and I thought, hang on, this seems like it's going to give away parts of the novel. So I stopped, and I'm going to finish the novel. I'm about halfway through before I finish Kids Being Kids. I have read Talk Therapy. Again, brilliant. I actually eBay bought Talk Therapy in the end. But yes, we did get some Kids Being Kids dished out to us. I think they are... Have you managed to get a hold of a copy? I know they went to local game stores. I don't know whether is it Denmark or Germany? I feel like I've said Germany before, but then I feel like I've also seen you say it's Denmark. But then I could be completely wrong about where you're from. I know it's somewhere in Europe. Gur Savage Aggressor, ambush again, lay him down as a trap, pop him out. If the portal is open, again. The fact that they're there and they can be ready. Denmark, it was Denmark, I thought it was. Yeah, I don't know why I had it in my head you were German, but I don't know. You may have mentioned something in a podcast about being in Germany at some point. I can't remember. But yeah, I believe they went to game stores, the Kids Being Kids, and they were exclusives to them. So hopefully your local one, which I'm pretty sure you said wasn't that local, it's like 2-hour drive, I think, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, it's if you can try and get hold of it, it's, from a collection standpoint. I know you're asking me about whether it's a card collection master set or all things Alpha Clash. I'm not going to turn my camera around, but I will post a picture later of my collection that I've got going on the shelves above me. if I try and turn the camera around, it will just absolutely screw everything. And I'm not. It took ages to get this set up right, where the green screen wasn't like all messed up and weird. And it like you can see as I'm moving around. Oh, I'm behind the guy. Yeah, I didn't realise I'd done that. I thought I put him behind me. Am I behind the woman too? I am. Oh. But yeah, sorry. Back to the cards. Ah, good man. Yeah. During your primary phase, you may discard this card. If you do, activate the portal. Ah, so this is the guy that comes back from your Oblivion during your primary phase. So it's essentially another, I wouldn't call it ambush, but it's another sneak attack. You've just discarded that card. Oh, right, well, that was silly. No, I haven't. Bam. But once it's gone, it can't come back from your Oblivion. So you get to do that once. So it could be a case of if you have to discard a card for something else, you can discard that one and then use it to open the portal, and so you've got your you can get your other ambush critters out. Morak the Devourer. This was number 11, I think it was. AC3. So it's a bit of a weird story. So the all 5 sets, I have one number 11 from all 5 sets, and it's this one. For some reason, no matter how much I open, I cannot pull a number 11 card from sets 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. I don't know why, but I finally got Morak the other week, and I was buzzing because I'd finally hit that spot where number 11 was filled in the binder. So yeah, that was, I was very happy with that. We've got 3 cost 2/2 counter attack. If you pay 2 black, yep, you put this card into play from your accessory zone. Yeah, it's got ambush. If the portal is open, you may pay 1 instead. Okay, good. So you're kind of relying on the portal being open, I think. On entry, you may search your deck for a non-Morak clash card with the initial resource cost of 3 or less. Reveal it, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card would deal clash damage to an alpha symbol clash card. It deals double damage to that clash card instead. Now that is interesting. So you absolutely nuke alphas. Yeah. Okay, this is my guy that I was... No, it's not this one. There was another one. There was another card featuring Trug where I felt like I was starting with Critical Role, and I felt like that this guy would fit right in with that D&D universe. It wasn't this card art, but it was one of the others. So again, another ambush. 4 cost, 4/4. On entry, each player diminishes 1 card. Once per turn during your primary phase, if the portal is open, you may banish a clash card from your Oblivion. If you do, return another clash card from your Oblivion to your hand. If that clash card has ambush, you may set it down in your accessory zone and ready. Wow, okay, that's pretty nice. However, it doesn't seem to say the trigger defeat on the abilities list. It's because Pestilence is the best. Is he... Which Pestilence is he building? Is it... Plague... Is it Plaguebringer? Christ, it's my bloody main and I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Toxic Presence one, or is it the other one? The 20 cost. The 20 health one. Because I play the Toxic Presence one. And I love it. So we've got a death card in here. Enter, activate the portal, trigger defeat, target contender loses 2 health. That contender's controller draws a card. Again, that's there for portal play, I would imagine. And here we go. This is the interesting one because it's got the white cards in there. Prince of Plague. Ah, yeah, the first one. I guess that would be. I've got one here, I think, somewhere. The Prince of Plagues. I've got that many cards floating around on my desk. That one. Camera work is shoddy. Yeah, you can't see it. But yeah, Prince of Plagues, 20 cost. 20 cost, 20 health. That was the first one I liked, but then I bought the Clash kit with the other one in and just changed and just liked it. So anyway, right, Zhao Li, reconnaissance agent, an exclusive. First time a non-relic accessory is set or played into your accessory zone on your turn, Earth Clash card you control get +1. Whenever you activate a okay, right, okay, that's there for card draw then. That makes sense why that's there now. Yeah. I was a bit confused, but now I've read it. That makes perfect sense why that's there. Because every time you activate a trap. But then again, they're not trap cards, are they, Ambush? Or are they? Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Deflating. You may only play this card if your contender is black. Krung is. Target Clash card gets -1/1 until the end of the turn. If you play this card's cost with a black, then the target Clash card gets another -1/1 until the end of the turn. If that card is defeated, draw a card. That's pretty strong. So if you've got a couple of 2 healths on there, or 3 healths even, for instance, that you're trying to damage with a 1/1, yeah, and then with the card draw on top of that as well. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like that. That might work in something I'm cooking up. No, I don't think it is either. I don't think it counts as, at least. I'm pretty positive it doesn't. Ancient Protection. Send a target accessory to Oblivion. Yep, there you go. That would be good against certain things that I run. I'm not telling you what, but it would be good against certain things that I run. Right, what we got? Remote Cave. Discarded symbols get +1 attack. Alpha symbols and rogue symbols get -2 attack. So on entry, discarded get +1 until the end of turn. I wonder if that means for that first entry turn they get +2. I would think they do, reading that, but they only get +2 until the end of that turn, and then they go to +1. That's how I would play that personally. Ground Park Chicago is alphas and rogues. That'll be there for. That's basically there. I personally think that is there to keep her alive, because it will give her 4 defense and gives you that draw defense, draw stuff, a bit more consistency. And as she's the only rogue in there, there can't be any other reason that I can honestly see that they would have 4 copies of that in there. But again, that's my opinion. Sharpshooter Moxie, very, very good early game card if you're playing a black deck. Any play, if the may activate this trap if the Clash card being played has an initial resource cost of 2 or less, send it straight to Oblivion. Boom, no damage, nothing, gone. And then Swarm of Monsters. I got caught by this the other day. You may activate this trap when an opponent plays a Clash card. That card is sent to Oblivion instead of entering play. If the portal is open, target opponent can't play Clash buffs until the end of turn. So, yeah, that will screw with some people's game plan. If you know they've got a Clash buff in there and you're ready, then get it down. You may only activate this trap if you control a discarded contender or discarded Clash card. Well, that's fine, because you'll always have a discarded contender on there. So, and he doesn't have a side deck. Well, I think that's pretty beastie, to be honest. I'm terrible at making decks, me. I kind of just throw stuff together that looks cool and sounds like it would work. But I have had success with some of the stuff that I've built doing that. So it's not always a bad thing. Moxie maybe, or Machine I've discovered it's today, that's how you pronounce it. I've been calling him Machina. Warhaven. So, the Haven. I don't play Haven, but the Haven's backpack, I am not 100%, but we are probably around 80% sure you can't get rid of Haven's backpack, because it's like the main stage of their game. But then again, when you read some rules, especially from the judge test, it does look like you can. Oh, that's absolutely fine, Con. I hope it made sense and gave you some ideas. This Zhao Li and Grant Park, I can see what he's doing with it, but I think as a beginner, I would probably ignore them and just stick with black cards until you get a bit more used to the way it works. But yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, the backpack is permanent. It's permanent, isn't it? It doesn't. We don't think you can get through it. So, but like I say, you read some of the rules from the judge test, and it does look like you can. I don't know whether that's been changed in later dates. We need to clarify it. But Haven and backpack is nasty. You just can't do anything to it, and it's just a race against time deck. But yeah, we are. Look at this. Oh, check out that for a transition. Way. Look at that. Professional editing. It's not. I'm making all of this myself. I need to sort out camera angle. I'm kind of like looking down there. But no. Alright, I've really messed this up now. There you go. That might be a bit better. But yeah, for a test stream, I think this has gone brilliantly. I can't really say much more than that because I thought, all right, I'll just put it on live for 10 minutes while my missus is out, and we'll just see how it goes, just see if it comes across okay and what happens really. And we've had 4 different viewers, which is pretty good if you ask me for a first time. 2 concurrent viewers, which is you two, which is awesome, and plenty of chats. So thank you. But yeah, we will be hopefully making a video tomorrow, ready to go out probably on the weekend. I'm trying to get a lot more consistent with the times and dates these things are going out, because consistency is key, obviously. The problem is, as we said in the very first video, all of us have jobs, all of us have real lives, 2 of us have got kids. Hopefully I will do more of these live streams now and again. We'll just run through a couple of decks. Might even show you what I run. If you want to make a deck on either Card.io or the Alpha Clash website, by all means do it. And then if we're doing one, I will put out a thing on the socials if I'm planning to do a live stream, and I'll say, oh well, I've made this one, send me the link to it, and I will by all means review your deck. I'm not going to tell you that I will be able to give you changes and go boom, but I'll give you my opinion on it. So thank you very much, and we will see you soon. I've been Rich, this has been Clash and Teacups, and we'll see you in the next one.